Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Money Monday to you. It's July 14th. We're going to review SPY price action today and the trades I took on small account challenge, some 0-day options or maximum leverage. Yeah, so we're in summer months, or summer trading months at least. Low volume. CPI is tomorrow, which should introduce volume and potentially break us out of this consolidation we've been in for, I don't know, since last Wednesday. No, since 2 Wednesdays ago. Here's Eric's chart. SPY day trading on YouTube. Link for his Discord's in the description. That's kind of the strategy that I'm implementing here with the small account challenge. It's one I've learned most of it from him. But yeah, as you can see, we've just kind of been in this range and this large wedge and low volume, and so just ping-ponging around in here. Not a whole lot until we kind of break out and make new highs or come down and start to close cups, inverse cups, break this bottom support. But doesn't mean you can't make money intraday. But the big moves, big intraday moves are going to happen when we get the moves happening on the longer time frame. So the goal is to try and catch the longer time frame moves on the daily. So like on the 30-minute, when you're grabbing liquidity, you're going to get a big move on the 1 minute, and that's when those options will be thousands of percent. But not to say you can't get 100% a day, and they do exist. Got to snipe them out. Today I was about on time. And let's see, so what I wanted actually, since it was a Monday, I was trying to start kind of slow. I wasn't quite on time. I was like right here. I wanted to get calls and a break of this white channel for the reason that this was nice liquidity for a shoulder. Either way it goes, after it broke the steeper channel, if we did make a steeper channel like this, I would have gone the opposite direction. So in this case, I would have gone here for calls, but I was kind of just setting up, and it was just, I mentally traded it basically. So that could have been a nice trade. I didn't take that one. But what I did take was this next setup. So by that point, we grabbed this shoulder, it came up, lacked continuation, and we're starting to just build this really gradual channel. With the 5-day being this flat gold line up here. This is the 5-day on the daily. Interpolated? I don't know. Moved over to the daily chart, however you say that. But at this point, we'd completed this cup, so I was looking for a handle. A handle built potentially with liquidity as the shoulder, like this, or at least breaking this purple. So put my purple line up here, and we started to grind down. It wasn't just a little liquidity up here, and didn't make a nice clean head like this was. But the handle can look any sort of ways. And first trade, I decided to just do it on the small account because I'm like, lately there's just been a small trade in the morning, and then it's been a little sketchy the rest of the day. So yeah, green trade 1003, here it is. So I'm down to one contract just because of the size of the account, and earlier in the morning they're more expensive, of course. So I like doing one contract though. It's nice to have runners, but yeah, I might just stick with maybe two, but there's no problem with one. Just makes you decisive. You have to be decisive on your exit. Makes you be patient to really wait for that good exit, but at the same time, you have to be decisive to cut it if it doesn't continue in the way you want. I don't know. I go back and forth. Anyways, yeah, 1003. I was into calls. So low volume. It's going to take more time for price action and for liquidity to be built and to be grabbed, even in the morning. Oftentimes in the morning, you're getting these moves much quicker, but today it's like afternoon trading, even in the morning pretty much. The range is also tight. Today was a little bigger than I think Friday. Yeah, we're still just over 4 points. 4 points? No. Yeah. Almost 3 points. Okay. But anyway, so we had the cup built. Came down here, purple line's VWAP, this one, and I saw liquidity down here, of course, so I'm looking for a rejection on that. or an inverse head potentially, or however you want to call it, rejection liquidity, a bounce here. If it starts to come into this liquidity and grab it, then it's looking bearish, but not to say I'm gonna go puts there, but looking for a bounce there, and it actually perfectly bounced there. And then my next confirmation would be it breaking some sort of channel that it built going down, and it wasn't white. I mean, this was kind of early on, so I drew another one, which was this one, and then of course we had this purple one that I had drawn from back here. And yeah, so 1003 is right here. It broke it. I tried to be kind of patient with a little retest, even didn't get on that green candle, waited for this one, kind of retested. I maybe even put an order at the bid. The problem with this, it was fine. I even have a little inverse head and a shoulder, and it moved up, but not a whole lot of volume to continue it, so ended up building more liquidity there and did another inverse head and shoulder. Grabbed this shoulder right here. I did hold through all this, and it perfectly bounced right there on that spot, so it was actually a pretty clean setup. I just took it on the small account, but yeah, I was able to hold through this. Thought about getting more or getting some on the big account here, but I'm like, I'm not gonna get greedy with it. I'll show you guys the big account trades in a moment. Yeah, so this move, I closed that one on that candle, I believe, what, 1017. So yeah, on that 1017. So I'm happy about that. It did come down and bump up a little further, but no worries. This was about 5-day too, so 5 days moved up as we moved up today. But when this was here, 5-day was like right there. So I was happy with that exit. And then there was another trade to the downside, which would have been kind of retracement trade, zone of mutual interest, as Eric puts it. However you want to call it. So you have a little shoulder here that was built near high day, and you have this nice sprouting head. Always nice looking structure, and then this right shoulder grabbing that liquidity, and so that could have been another potential trade. I didn't even really channel it, just given how it's kind of a little bit, it's choppy, it's low volume. But you could have just clearly seen he's grabbing that liquidity right there on that candle. Your stop would have been either breaking this orange or this purple, which is kind of a wide stop. So that's why sometimes I'll open it up as it's leaving the spot where I'd have my stop, if that makes any sense. So in this case, it would be like here. In case this is ahead, this would be my stop right there, because there's a little bit of liquidity up here. So if it wanted to come up and reject it for another retest, if it makes a little head and shoulder, then a mini one, it rejects that liquidity. So that's why that'd be my stop. That's if I got a good entry up there, which I'm not usually trying to trade that aggressive. Sometimes I do, but for what's set up here, I'm not. So I didn't take this trade, but I'm just giving you an example. And then yeah, it actually perfectly bounced on that same support line. I was using the volume profile a little bit on my Webull chart. Sometimes it helps me identify that liquidity if I'm not too sure exactly where it looks like it'll be. But then this next trade was actually a pretty nice one, and I was a little distracted. I don't know. It's such a small move that it's hard to keep my head in the game, I guess. But yeah, continued to look bullish here. So we have a cup, we have a handle, we have another cup. It's just kind of, it keeps hitting that high and not making new lows or even making the same low. And then I have purple here. So nice little inverse head with a shoulder here that was built above VWAP. And then it broke this magenta, or not magenta, but this purple one. Same way, where it was right here, turned into support. Right here, broke it. So this would have been a nice call entry right there. I wouldn't have taken it here. I mean, I guess if you're thinking of liquidity rejection there, but not really. But this is pretty nice looking structure with your shoulder here and then a head. And then you can take it on green or break with purple, or breaking the purple and that little retrace, or any one of these candles in there. It's not ideal to get calls on green candles or puts on red ones, of course, especially if it's a pretty big one. You're gonna get pretty bad slippage. So patience is definitely the winner there. This would have been a nice trade though. There wasn't a great pullback or setup later to go long to me. So kind of just grind it up, and then I was looking for a long setup, but there wasn't a great one until here. This one was nice because it clearly made resistance here on the 5-day, broke above it, and then it's building liquidity and it's retesting it here. So just retesting that high with your shoulder, head, grabbing it right there. A little bit of volume increase also. And then those bigger green candles. So I actually did catch that trade. I kind of just ran to patience though when it's like the contracts aren't moving much, such small tight price action. It's not good, but it's what it is. So I had a red trade in there somewhere. Puts, let's see, 1132, 1139. Let's just review these because there's only a few of them. Okay, yeah, so I was trying to front run this one. Yep. So I hit the top of my green and I got puts in here, trying to just catch ahead. And then it did a little stop, basically stop hunt outside this green channel. So could have gotten back into them there. I don't know if I did or not. I maybe did. Yeah, so that first one was a little red trade. 1146. Okay, so then I had a green trade. Yeah, I think I did catch that next one. 46 to 59 to 12. That was late on this one. Yeah. Not terribly late though. Made that big red candle, and then I got on this next green candle. Pretty good fill. And held through all this liquidity, which was kind of lame. And this just drags you out. It's like just every one of these 1 minute candles just goes sideways. Just it's like that much less patience you have for it to go in your favor. I did get one sold. What's that? 59 and then 12. Okay. Yeah, I waited a little long on this one. So I want to get one here. I put a limit order. You can actually see I canceled it then, I think. Yeah, I canceled it. I put a limit order when it was here. But it didn't fill. I was being kind of greedy. I was hoping it'd be a little bit more of a retest on the high, but you always want to go like a little bit short of your goal. So I ended up just closing those, but they were still profitable, basically anticipating it breaking this purple. And so yeah, that one was 580 to 610 to then 590. So a profitable stop out, I guess. And then calls at 1241. So yeah, that was on this one. This was a bit of yeah, just inverse head and shoulder here, a retest on the 5-bit like I was saying. It hadn't broken the white channel though, which I had actually just started drawing. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? At 1241, yeah. Yeah, so I got him at 1241 this candle. And this is where I was just like, it's middle of the day, it's right at resistance here that I'm realizing then. And so I just started closing these out, fortunately. So I did miss that move to the upside. 41 was at 660. I sold one at 43, so just kind of catching that slippage. That was a pretty good little profit, actually. Yeah, on this candle. Just when it breached above. It was probably kind of a greedy limit order. That's what I would imagine, just because I was trying to slowly get out of it. And then sold sold one at 48, and then another one at 48. And those were, one was a small loss and one was a small gain. So yeah, I just lost patience for it. And since my entry wasn't great, it was kind of on a bad slippage green candle. And then I also noticed that okay, this actually is resistance here. But of course, then literally right after I sold it, boom. Which then I looked at it later, like this didn't even go up a whole lot. I think the contracts increased like $100 a piece, so it's just a tight range. So thankfully, it's not a huge move, and crazy FOMO is boiling inside of me. After that. 311. Oh yeah, a couple little end of day trades. Not the best. I was definitely fighting it a little bit. Puts 311, 318, two different buys. Yeah, just for this end of day, potential move back to VWAP. On the 30-minute, we hadn't quite made it to the green, so it was kind of in this area. I'm like, well, is it wanting to just kind of make a little inverse head and shoulder and come up and retest a green, or is this actually the retest? It's just not going to make it all the way there. So I was a little bit bearish, I guess, thinking it's close enough to the green, which it was, but it's just low volume. What did I say? 40, 311 and 318. Yeah. So right in here, kind of jumping in where it's liquidity, unfortunately, but got our head, our shoulder, and then it made this little mini head and shoulder. So that's when actually I got more. So kind of proud about that, I guess. Had the confidence, which my main goal pretty much right now is just build confidence. It's not to make money. It's not to do this, that. It's to build confidence. I can't build confidence if I'm not trading right. So when I say build confidence, it comes along with, of course, being successful and having high accuracy and all that. But yeah, so this was a confidence builder for sure. I got more here on this little mini head and shoulders after it was already in this shoulder on the bigger move. Just kind of drew this channel. And Yeah, some of these went pretty good actually. Oh, yeah, so this one candle came out of nowhere. It was so fast. I quick went for a fill and it was just like a second. I don't even know what happened there. That's what sometimes happens in low volume days. You'll just get these weird spike of volume. Someone slipped on their keyboard and sold way more than they should have or something. And it's showing up a lot more than it normally would because there's no volume, and that was a large amount of volume. Relative volume on the day. But yeah, so you can see I bought 3 at 610 and then 3 more at 265. So different strikes. I'm gonna get a little further out. Now I tried to sell one because this was what the price hit at one point was 850. And I think that was on these 265. So yeah. Is that right? Can't tell. Is this? Let me see here. No, it was on this one. So the 610s went to 850. I didn't get that fill. Sold. Oh, I accidentally sold 3 here, which actually ended up being a blessing because it ended up just being a wedge, choppy wedge into close. Sold 3. I'm gonna sell 1, 322. So puts here averaged in. I guess not. I have an average in. I got a different strike. Just increased my size, and then sold 3 at 322, which was, yeah, this candle. I was trying to get a nice fill, nice price that I saw on this candle, but it didn't really happen, so I kind of moved it back a couple. So reason for that being, this is now flipped into support. This is prior resistance, now support. Yeah, that was pretty much the main thing. And reducing risk later in the day. I mean, one of these candles will stop you out. So sold 3 there. Meant to sell 1, but it's a good thing I sold 3, and then stopped out of the other 3 on the other strike. So then I was totally out of it. Let's see, I stopped out of those? Yeah, I guess I did. I thought I took profit on them. No, I guess not. So that's a break even on the other strike. Well, 5 cents. And then one last little one. It's at 44, and then sold it for a little green and then a little red. 44, 45, 46. Yeah, bit of a chase. 44 sold here, 45 for a little green, and then 46 sold for a little red. So thankfully I didn't get too caught up in this end of day wedge. Looking at Emperor's chart also, it was it had broken the magenta, so that made me a little more. I'm like, okay, looks like it might want to flush then. But on mine, I had that green, which his was charted differently, and so for me, I'm like, this lined up mo better. And that was it. Nice little green day on both accounts. Happy to make it out alive on a nice, or not nice, low volume summer trading day. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. We'll see you guys on Discord. Peace out.